What is up, YouTube? It is Docky, your Docky Style Gaming, and I am back at it again with another kind of Godfall video for you all today, or better yet, a Counterplay Games video for you all today. And in this one, we're going to be talking about some of the upcoming titles coming from Counterplay Games themselves. Now, we know that Godfall has come out with their most recent blog post and said that they're not going to be working on any new content for the game, but that doesn't mean that Counterplay Games themselves aren't working on brand new titles as well. 2 new titles to be exact. Now, one of them, not gonna lie, I'm not too into, but the second one I feel like a lot of people are gonna be into and does seem very promising for the future of Counterplay Games and potentially what the game might entail. So, like I always say, without wasting any more of y'all's time, let's hop straight into this video and straight into this info. Now, this info has been out for a little while now, but we've gotten a bit more thanks to the career tabs from Counterplay Games and some of the positions that they're looking to fill for their company. And with some of these different positions, they've gone into a bunch of the details for 2 of the games that they're working on. Now, the first, like I mentioned, I'm probably not the most interested in, mainly because it's not my cup of tea, but currently they did confirm that they are working on an unannounced mobile strategy roleplay game using Unity or Unreal Engine, though probably it'll be Unity because it's mobile. Not a lot of games really utilize Unreal to the max, so I guess we'll see. But they did say that the game will feature real-time gameplay optimized for mobile devices. Now, again, personally, this isn't my cup of tea, but I do understand why most game companies and developers do this in general, whether it be big studios like Nintendo or individual developers like Gearbox, Bethesda, and clearly Counterplay now. Again, this isn't nothing new like at all, but most game studios typically do this so that they can have something on the side bringing them in money with microtransactions so that their main console or PC release can be either as free to play as possible or not require a lot of investment money-wise to the consumer. So if that means that with this mobile game that their console game, which I'll get into in a bit, is going to be similar to the vein of Godfall where every content update was free minus 1 that we actually had to pay for, I'm fine with that. Granted, I'll probably never play the mobile game, but if that means that the console or AAA game that they're working on doesn't require heavy investment money-wise, I'm perfectly fine with that. But speaking of their AAA game, let's get into that because that's where we got most of the new information from and a lot of details to get into. They're clearly hiring a lot of positions for this, and they went over a lot of different details for all of the different positions and things that we could expect from the new title. Now, currently, of course, there is no name for the game as of right now, but they did say that they are working on a next-gen PC and console AAA game and is planning on using Unreal Engine 4. Which honestly, they kind of should be switching Unreal Engine 5, but it's fine. It says it is an unannounced cooperative action fantasy shooter. Though in some of their other posts, they describe it as a new third-person co-op action shooter with powerful player fantasy and rich themes. They said when they were looking for a new senior technical artist that the game is heavily combat-focused and the ideal candidates must adore 3D action combat games, action RPGs, and tactical shooters. They said that combat is a critical cornerstone and the foundation that supports players' engagement, and that they are also confirmed that there will be many cinematic sequences. So we know that the game at least will have some cinematic story elements to it as well. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg, but it is interesting that their next title is going to be a shooter coming right off the heels of Godfall, which was a melee-based game. But I did dig the combat in Godfall, so hopefully, if it is going to be as combat-driven as they're hoping it's going to be, I don't mind seeing what they're going to do with gunplay. Now, what they said when looking for a gameplay programmer, they said they're looking for someone who can maintain gameplay systems, including combat mechanics, enemy behaviors, navigation rewards, loot systems, and event-based encounters along with quest objectives. Now, this is interesting because in a lot of their different job titles, they're looking for people to work on event-type encounters or just in-game events in general. Now, this is something different because we don't currently have that in Godfall, but we do see this in a lot of traditional looters nowadays. whether it be things like Warframe or hell, Destiny. Even Anthem to an extent had some mini events in the open world. Now, when going over some of the other requirements for the technical designer, they said that they're looking for someone who can build game modes, boss encounter, events as well, and player weapons. And with this being a co-op RPG shooter, it seems like, of course, weapons are going to play a big factor in terms of the loot aspect of this game. Now, for their tab for mission designer, it was pretty interesting because they said they're looking for someone to create game modes that support player engagement, challenges, and social play, as well as long-term capability. Now, this is something that was brought up a lot as well, is that this game seems like it's going to be more co-op focused, or better yet, just encourages playing with your friends more, I feel like, than GodFall actually did, which is perfectly fine with me. But it is interesting that a lot of this information that we've been getting seems to be very combat focused, co-op focused, and surprisingly event focused. So I'm wondering, especially now that they said that they're looking for long-term capabilities, how long do they plan on supporting their next title, and what type of things can we expect from their co-op experience? Something that was desperately needed in GodFall, in my opinion, still were raids. So hopefully with some of these other events or quest objectives and things like that, hopefully they manage to find some type of big raid mechanic or type of encounter. Now, some other interesting things that I took note of with some of their listings, they even mentioned that they're looking for someone who's familiar with character dismemberment and character customization. Now, that's something, again, that I know when it came to GodFall, that a lot of people were hoping that we'd be able to do with our Valorplates. And though we did have some skins for our Valorplates, we never had true Valorplate character customization. So it'll be interesting to see the level of customization that comes from their next title. Again, this is something a lot of players wanted, so it's actually kind of cool that they're taking this into their next game. Now, one of the last things that was also mentioned as well is that they're looking to formulate and deliver a wide variety of engaging encounters for both individuals and groups, which honestly is always a smart thing to do for solo play and team play when it comes to enemy and boss scaling and balancing. So personally, that's good to hear anyway. But with all of this information that we got already, it seems like this is going to be much more, again, co-op focused than that of GodFall. And honestly, it seems like they're trying to step up everything from GodFall and take it to the next level, which is the smart move. You always want to learn from your previous games and improve upon them on your next. And part of me would be like, could this be Counterplay's Destiny? But honestly, I don't want to say that, because every time someone calls something or some new game the Destiny killer, it fails. And I'm looking at you, Anthem and Outriders. But I will say that hopefully it's an equally fun contender in the genre at least. We're kind of getting to that state in gaming where no game's really going to dethrone Destiny in the looter or RPG genre, just like no game's going to surpass Fortnite in terms of reach, scale, and popularity in the Battle Royale genre. So instead of labeling games as the killer, like people thought Apex was going to be with Fortnite, or like people thought Anthem was going to be with Destiny, honestly, I'm just hoping that the game can exist in the same space and genre and still be a fun and a unique experience similar to Warframe in the looter genre. It'll never be as popular as Destiny, sure, but it'll always be an incredibly fun game with a great value and amazing content that they're constantly releasing. And hopefully, Counterplay's next game can be the same, considering they are focusing more on co-op, longevity as well, and more engaging content and combat. Hopefully, they're planning now for the long haul with their next AAA title. But with that, I am going to wrap it up. So let me know what you personally think about both of Counterplay's games that they're currently working on, both the mobile one and their AAA one as well. That was something else that I took note of as well, is that they are very focused on next gen. So it seems like whatever their new title is going to be is not coming to last gen. Like, that was something that I took note of a lot, is that they're looking for next gen, next gen, next gen. So for PC and next-gen consoles is definitely where their next AAA game is going to be headed. So if you're a last-gen player on some of the older Xbox consoles or PlayStation 4, sadly, it doesn't look like you're going to get to experience Counterplay's next game. But hopefully by the time that they release their next title, everybody will have next-gen consoles, or at least they'll be readily more available. But again, let me know if you're hyped for a brand new third-person shooter RPG, or are you kind of getting sick of this genre already? I know we have a lot of games to fill the space, whether it be Borderlands, Destiny, Warframe, Anthem, Outriders, Division, things like that, Or is this literally right up your alley and you just want to play another brand new one? And with the type of world and art style that Godfall has, I am kind of interested to see what type of fantasy element they're going to add to a shooter. So it'll be pretty interesting to see their gameplay style and if it's going to be something similar to that of Godfall. Potentially Godfall with guns, but it'll be interesting to see what it's going to be. But again, let me know your thoughts. Other than that, I am out of here, guys. Thank you all, like always, for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you liked the video. If you didn't, still leave a like. And be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. Link to that is in the video description. We got guides, builds, LFG on all things Godfall and other games I cover on the channel, and some games that I don't. And also be sure to follow me on my Twitch. I do stream on there whenever I can, and I'll probably be streaming there a little later tonight. I post about it on the Discord and the community tab so you can know when to check it out. We'll be streaming some Godfall and talking about some of this new stuff that we just discussed in today's video. Other than that though, guys, again, I am out of here. Thanks for watching, like always. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. Peace.